Well, Mark Murphy is the founder and editorial director of TravelPulse.com. He's here to share the latest trends of shoulder travel and some special tips to ensure your vacation is relaxing and, of course, enjoyable. So, hey, Mark, how you doing?
Good, Julie. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's talk about a great deal because everybody loves a great deal. Where are some of the best ones right now?
Do you like culture, hospitality, five-star resorts, beaches, ancient ruins?
Yeah, you had me
Then
at five-star.
think about Mexico.
You had about five-star resorts and beaches. Okay, so Mexico, let's talk about it.
So Mexico, the state of Quintana Roo is what a lot of people will know as Cancun, Cozumel, Isla Mujeres, and the Riviera Maya region. That is where about 10 million Americans go every year for vacations, and you can book it and package it up with a company, let's say like Apple Vacations, which has an office up near where I'm at in the Philadelphia market, and they'll package it with an all-inclusive. I just went with them to Mexico last week and stayed at a property called Breathless, and they handled everything from the air to the connection and the transfer to the resort stay and back again. It was seamless. It was booked by a travel agent who's impartial, and I had a great experience, and I saved money in the process, which is what Americans should be looking to do. And the peso is 20-1 right now, so you can't get a better deal than Mexico today.
Absolutely not. But Mark, let me ask you one thing about Mexico, because there's been a lot of news about it. Should people be concerned? You know, how safe did you feel when you were in Mexico?
Well, you know, the question is the reporting accurate? And the answer is no. The State Department is where you should go to look for advice on department travel warnings. And in the case of Mexico, as recently as 60 days ago, they deemed all tourist areas in Mexico safe for American travelers. And unfortunately, a couple weeks ago, there was a negative story that came out that incorrectly changed the travel warning, and people didn't realize that nothing had changed. So I would say talk to a travel agent. Make sure you get inside advice. Fact check it if you want with the State Department. I was just there last week. I'm going again on Saturday, and I'm taking my whole family there at Christmas time, which will be the 9th or 10th year in a row. I do this for a living. You should be very confident traveling to Mexico from a safety standpoint.
I just want to know if you'll adopt me as one of your family members. I'm ready to go.
Here's the deal. You pay for our travel insurance. I got everything else covered.
Oh, boy.
The travel insurance, well, the travel insurance is only this much. That's pretty letting you off cheap. I actually really encourage people to do that. I use a company for all my employees called Allianz Global Assistance for that exact reason, to make sure I, as a business owner, have peace of mind when my folks travel. And you want peace of mind, too, when you travel. Travel agents will provide that, and they'll make recommendations for brands like them and others, as well as like Apple Vacations or other operators that they work with to give you unbiased advice.
Absolutely. All right, so we went south of the border, so to speak. Let's go north, up to Canada. Canada made your list. Tell me why.
Yeah. Well, Toronto, Montreal, Quebec, Banff, Vancouver, Whistler. I mean, there's so many options to explore the great outdoors, to get to a major metropolitan fantastic city, to experience Europe, but only have to fly an hour and a half from Washington, D.C. I mean, what's not to like with Canada? Plus, the Canadian dollar versus the U.S. dollar, it's about a 35 to 40% swing today. So you're saving a ton of money on the exchange rate. You're in the off season, and it's still great weather, you know, but it's not going to be great weather all year, except on the west coast of like Vancouver. So get up there in the next few weeks if you can.
Absolutely. All right, quickly, let's talk about river cruises.
Yeah.
They're still a hit amongst a lot of people.
Yeah, and growing. A couple things. More and more Americans are taking river cruises. They usually try them in Europe, and then they'll go to Asia. You can even do them in Africa. I did one in Europe recently as May with a company called Amo Waterways, where they onboarded us in Budapest. We stopped in places like Vienna. You know, it'll stop in places like Regensburg in the Bavarian region, and we ultimately ended up in Munich. It was great.
All right. Well, Mark, I hate to let you go, but where can we follow you and get more information, especially on train travel?
Okay, so follow me personally at Murphy Travels or at Travel Pulse, or go to TravelPulse.com, and you can get all the breaking news.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Mark, and I'll see you at Christmas time in Mexico.
Sounds good.
All right, folks, stay with us.